Brilliant. Rory, good to see you back here once again.
Thank you.
How was the course this morning, and how different is it from when you were last here a few years ago?
Yeah, it's obviously soft just from all the rain that there's been the last couple of days. But it's good. I mean, it's a good test. I think they've added a couple of tees. It's a bit longer. The rough's up a bit more than it probably was last time. So yeah, I mean, it's, I think with, benign conditions like this and with it being soft, the scoring's still going to be pretty good, but maybe players might just get punished a little more for like wayward shots, which is sort of what you're looking for. You're looking for at least, you got to stand up and hit some good golf shots, and you want to be challenged a little bit. And I think the setup this week's pretty good.
I think when you were last here, I think it was 14 under, and that was just inside the top 30.
Yeah.
What do you expect this week the score to be?
Yeah, I'd say 14 under this week's probably going to have a decent chance. But it's all dependent on the weather, depending on what sort of wind we get, the direction of the wind, whether the course firms up any more than how it is right now. So yeah, it's all dependent on the weather, like any links golf course.
And the importance of this week ahead of next week at Royal St George's, given the type of form you're in at the moment, how key is it that you have 4 good rounds here this week?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back on the golf course. I was pretty rusty last week in Ireland. I didn't really do any practice the week after the US Open, and it sort of showed in my game. So it's been nice to link back up with Pete, who's here, and worked on some stuff the last couple of days. So yeah, it's nice to get 4 more rounds and 4 rounds on, somewhat links conditions and sort of seeing the game a little bit that way again, putting off greens and chipping runs and that sort of stuff. Thank you.
Yeah. Rory, you were saying last week that this was very much a last minute decision and forced on you by circumstances. How pleased are you that you're actually here now? And even if you don't end up winning, what would represent a successful week?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was forced upon me. I mean, it was like, I wanted to play. I made the decision. I'm not here against my will. But just with, being over here, it just made sense to play. It made sense to play rather than, go down to London for a week and sort of practice down there. I guess I could have went to Wembley tonight and got my Danish top on, but yeah, it's true. But it's just, I think it's important for me to play. As I said, I didn't do much practice the week after the US Open because I knew I was about to spend 5 of the next 6 weeks away from the girls. So I wanted to spend as much time with them as I could. And then, yeah, it was nice. I played last week and there was a couple of things that I needed to work on. And, it's nice to have Pete here this week to work on them and, get another 4 rounds.
Or did the rust manifest itself in your driving? Because obviously that was your great weapon, and it doesn't seem to be right there at the moment.
Yeah, that's correct. It's more, I think, the longer the club gets, the more exaggerated the move is, and you can get away with it with the shorter clubs because they're shorter clubs, and but once you get a longer club in your hand, that's where some of the bad habits start to creep in a little bit more. So yeah, that's something that's been a area of that I've worked on over the past couple of days, and it feels it feels better. I drove the ball much better yesterday for 9 holes, and then today in the Pro-Am as well, so that was encouraging.
Rory, you've played lots of golf in challenging conditions in Scotland. You could play 8 rounds here in benign conditions. Do you feel sorry for the people that the course was really firm and fast last week, and Mother Nature's taking that away?
Yeah, a little bit. It would have been great to play it fast and firm, and but again, it's just so out of anyone's control. You can't control what the weather does, and you can't. This is a a wonderful week to have the Scottish Open, and it's a wonderful venue. You know, everything is so easy. You know, I'm staying in the clubhouse this week, and the gym's right here, and the practice facilities. I mean, it's a great, you know, with one eye towards next week as well. It's a great week to, you know, to spend here and to work on your game and to play. And so, yeah, I feel bad a little bit that the weather hasn't cooperated the last couple of editions, but you know, I'd say that the longer the tournament stays here, if it does stay here, obviously the more chance they'll get that, you know, the course will be more the way everyone wants it to be.
Hi, Rory. Good to see you back. The fans will be delighted to see you back here. How delighted are you to see the fans back here?
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, that's, you know, one of the big things I was looking forward to coming back over and playing on the European Tour was the fact that, you know, fans were allowed back in. Sort of got used to it in the States, you know, basically since the start of the year. You know, fans have been allowed, you know, back to sporting events and watch golf tournaments. So it is great that, you know, at least there's going to be a few people out here to create a nice atmosphere.
Rory, what's the experience been like of working with Pete? How would you judge it if we went over to the range and asked Pete what he thought about it? What do you think he would say?
He'd probably tell you that I think that's the great thing about Pete is he doesn't sugarcoat it. He'll tell me when it's not great. So then when he does give me a compliment, I know that it's real. So yeah, it's been great. It's very, look, it's probably stuff I've worked on before, but just said in a slightly different way, slightly different thoughts. But good thing about Pete is he's been doing it such a long time and with so many great players is, you know, he knows what works and he knows what doesn't. And I've really enjoyed it. I really have. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed learning from him. He's got such a great knowledge about the not just the golf swing, but the game of golf in general. And you know, it's been a good few months.
Rory, you look like you've made real strides forward major-wise at the US Open. I just wonder what you're looking for next.
More of the same. I mean, again, you can't. I mean, all anyone asks of themselves is to give themselves a chance on Sunday. That's it. So, you know, the only way you can win is to give yourself a chance. And I give myself a chance. I was right there on Sunday. Made my best swing of the week, probably on the 11th hole, and ended up making bogey from it with a bad 3-putt. So it's, you know, it's getting there. I think as well, the thing about majors and you just have to hang around. You don't have to do anything spectacular. You know, you can sort of par the course to death, pick off a few birdies here and there. No, it's a different style of golf than we're probably used to playing week in, week out. And I like that. I like that challenge. I sort of, other than at the grand old age of 32, I like the fact that it's probably more of a mental challenge than a physical one. Because I feel like I can use my experience to hang in there.
Do you remember
I remember grinding my ass off for 13 holes on Saturday morning with my rain jacket on in bad conditions, and the weather started to finally clear up on the 14th tee. I took my rain jacket off and proceeded to hit one out of bounds, and that was sort of it for me for the tournament. So but obviously it was great to see Darren win, and I remember I played a practice round with him early Wednesday morning, and at that point it didn't look like he was anywhere near winning the golf tournament. And but you know, that's the great thing about golf, you just never know. And I think the big thing with St. George's though is you just have to, you know, that you're going to get some unlucky breaks and you might get some good breaks, and the ball's going to take a few different bounces here and there. But if you just pack your patience and understand that, you know, it's the same for everyone, and the good and the bad bounces should all level out over 72 holes.
Okay, thanks everyone.